Tuesday, the 23rd of May. Welcome to Afternoon Sport. I'm Dan McHugh, and I'm joined by the one, the only Shane Lee.
Shane Lee in Monaco.
In Monaco.
Not Nice anymore, Dan. Look at this. We're sitting on the back of a super yacht.
Yeah.
Now, looking behind you, Dan, I can see the stands are up.
Yeah.
The race is coming here on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's all happening. We're preparing. We've got a whole week of celebration. We're launching sports.com. We'll talk about that at the end. But it's exciting, mate. Lots of sport to talk about today too.
I just want to ask, is that a company-sanctioned Negroni you're sipping on there?
No, well, so sports.com is red, and this is the sports.com red drink. That's the official line I'm using. Jesus, nice too.
Hey, you've been to Monaco before. Sorry, Monaco. I'm still used to Monaco bars from the 1980s.
You say tomato, I say Bloody Mary.
But you've been to Monaco before, haven't you?
I have, mate. I've been here a few times. A bit of a business mentor for me, a guy called Basil Sellers. He floated a company which was Speedo and King G back in the 80s in Australia, and had a beautiful place just around the corner here at St John Cap Ferrat.
Yeah.
For all the French listeners, I hope I pronounced that correctly. But I got to come here a couple of times, and there's a little place up in the mountains here called Ez, and I had one of the most magnificent lunches with Basil, the great and late Richie Benno, and the great and late English cricketer Ted Dexter.
Wow.
It was one of the most fantastic. My wife Lorraine was there. It was a magnificent afternoon.
I feel like you said a whole bunch of really amazing people, and then you...
Yeah, and then it's me and Lorraine. Yeah. How good. Anyway, Dan, let's talk some sport.
All right, stay with us, because today on the show we're going to be talking Grand Prix as we're here in Monaco. Bit of AFL, some NRL. We're going to talk tennis. And also, we're going to tell you all about sports.com. Stay with us.
Afternoon Sport.
So, Shano, the Grand Prix, it's happening this weekend. Have you got a favourite for the race?
Well, look, as you know, I'm not a big car head, but Verstappen is one of the favourites with the local boy, the clerk. And I've just heard from one of my new Formula One wizards, and we'll introduce him later in the show this week. I'll keep that a surprise.
Yeah.
But he said it's all about the parts for Leclerc, so how the car's going to perform. And then Hamilton. So Hamilton's actually ranked third. He's actually won this Grand Prix 3 times, 2008, 2016 and 2019, every 3 or so years. So it's probably a chance he's going to win it this year. We just actually walked the track before, and it is very narrow. Everyone says if you start pole position here, there's a good chance you're going to win, and I can see why. There's 3 of us walking along the track, and hard.
With you and Hodjo, there wasn't much.
It was hard to pass Hodjo and I, but anyway, we had a nice pizza. But it's going to be fantastic, and apparently the noise, once it kicks off, it's just going to echo right across the boats here in the beautiful French Riviera.
Speaking of noise, I don't know if the audience can hear this ambulance in the background. It feels like we're being visited by the 1970s. It's amazing.
I love it, mate. Look, it should be fantastic, mate. But I think it's going to be an unbelievable race.
Moving on, let's have a look at the AFL. Damien Hardwick. What about him?
Well, so he's a 3-time premiership coach at Richmond.
Yeah.
And look, there's rumours going around that he may actually walk away. He's contracted to 2024.
Yeah.
But he's citing, and people close to him are saying that it's burnout. He's really struggled of late. He's had some personal issues. The team's not performing as well as it did. Richmond had a bit of a golden period there back in the early and 2010 to 15 or 16, whenever it was. So watch his space. I think he may even retire before the weekend, or he'll coach his last game, they reckon, potentially at the MCG against his old club, Port Adelaide, this weekend. And then he might take a bit of a sabbatical and sort of regroup. And he's obviously got some personal demons he needs to sort out.
Look, I think in this day and age, you wouldn't want to really be a coach or a ref in sport. It's just getting worse and worse for them.
Well, it's really like coaches. Like it's hard. Even if you do everything right, you can only prepare your team.
Still lose.
But you can't go out there and actually kick the ball for them, or in cricket you can't hit the ball for them.
Yeah.
So they have to live and breathe and all those emotions. And it's brilliant. As an ex-professional sportsman, when I was playing cricket, and you don't do well, people abuse you.
Yeah.
I think it's a rite of passage. I feel like saying, if you worked at KPMG, I should be able to walk into your office and call you a fucking dickhead.
Absolutely. Wouldn't that be fun?
But you couldn't do that, of course.
All right, so we're getting very close to the state of origin. Teams have been picked. What do you think about the New South Wales team?
Well, I'm going to start with Queensland first. So Billy Slater, and Queensland's always been about stick and pick, right?
Yeah.
Stick with the guys who've proven themselves the Queensland way. Billy Slater's actually turned against that. Gagai, he's played the last 22 State of Origin straight. Absolute legend, playing for the Knights now. He's been dropped, as has Ponga. Like we thought Cullen Ponga, after the whole debacle with going into the cubicle in the pub up in Newcastle, he had probably one of his best games 2 weeks ago. We thought he may have really stitched up that fullback position, but it appears not. So they're both been dropped, and so 2 Knights not being picked. The Blues, there's a few changes there as well. Nico Hines has come in, which means that Luai is going to be on the bench. So Freddie's gone away from the old trusted Penrith combination of Cleary and Luai.
Yep.
And they brought Addo Carr back. Thank goodness. Like, he didn't play last year. That guy's a superstar.
Yep.
He's a winner. So he's back in the blue colours. And then Api Karasai, who also will take the number 9 position over Damien Cook. So a few changes there for the Blues. It's not cut and dry. I think this is our best chances to win quite comfortably 3-0 this year. But we know State of Origin, it doesn't always work like that.
I think that's very New South Wales centric of you to talk that way. I think you hear that every year.
Yeah, I do.
But I wonder, everyone loves to attribute New South Wales' success to Freddie Fittler's weird shit that he does on the field.
Yeah.
Getting barefoot and really feeling the ground and meditation and these sorts of things. I think you've got some opinions on that.
Well, yeah, look, Freddie likes to become one with the earth. Gone is the day when Freddie used to get blind and fall out of cabs and have to crawl home. He now doesn't drink, and he's a very considered man.
Yeah, he's evolved.
But I tell you what, the one guy, and I said literally on this show only 2 weeks ago, Tommy Turbo should not be picked, but he probably had his best game in a year last week against the Raiders, Manly smashing them 44-14, and Tommy played his best game. Yeah, he's obviously. I felt like he'd been sort of keeping himself in cotton wool a bit and not really going for those big cover tackles, which is not great for Manly.
No.
But he obviously wants to focus and play in the centres for New South Wales.
Right. We had Tommy Turbo on the Stuck in the Middle podcast the other week with his brother Jake, which was pretty interesting. You should check that out, Shane.
Okay, I will do, yeah. How'd they go?
Hilarious. Jake has a habit of thumbs-upping at the camera.
Right.
He's retired from the thumbs up.
Very Hopawati style.
Yeah, well, I don't think it was... I think he was pleasantly giving thumbs up, not sticking thumbs
right,
up.
yes.
Up people's
He did ask for permission.
We're going to have a little break now, Shane. We'll be back in just a moment's time. We're going to talk about the tennis. We're going to talk some more Grand Prix. And we're going to talk about sports.com.
Yes, let's do that.
Afternoon Sport.
All right, it's Afternoon Sport here from Monaco.
Oh, how good.
Very enjoyable, Shane.
It is, mate.
The Italian Open, the men's final was delayed due to wet weather. What were the results?
Well, we spoke about this yesterday, and we weren't quite sure why the game was actually didn't go ahead. Medvedev has actually beaten Rune for the first time on clay. He won 7-5, 7-5, and Medvedev, he reminds me a bit of Ricky Gervais, this guy. He's a bit of a sook and a bloody carry-on, like a middle manager, right? The Russian crazy man. He said, I hate playing on clay. He said, now that he's won the Italian Open, going into the French, I don't mind clay.
Oh, it's not so bad.
It's not so bad. Lol.
I
like
pull out
clay.
a guitar and start singing during the sports interview?
He's just a big kid, isn't he? Medvedev.
Oh, I think he's the kid that takes the ball home when someone knocks him over in a soccer game.
I've got to be very careful, bagging Russians. We are here in Monaco. I'll get shot.
Yeah, and the French Open is about to start. I think Djokovic thinks he's the favourite. Who do you think's the favourite?
I think Alcaraz is the favourite, and I think the Joker's playing mind games, which means I know he's not at his best, and we all know that, right?
Yeah.
But he has the ability to fake injury, hang in there, just do enough, get the job done, go for an illegal toilet break, come back. He knows how to win. He knows how to upset people's rhythm and momentum.
Yeah.
If he gets to the final against a 19-year-old Alcaraz, who's going to take the mantle within a year or so, once,
Yeah, Alcaraz did have a strange loss the other week, though, didn't he?
He did, mate, but he's 19 years of age.
Yeah, I just wonder if he's peaked too early. That's what I'm saying.
No. He's learning his craft, mate, and there's a lot of expectations on him now. And the problem for him is that he's coming after three of the greatest tennis players of all time, in Nadal, Roger Federer, and Djokovic, right? And these guys pretty much finished in the top two between them for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of pressure on him. He's
Yeah.
going to learn, but the Joker knows that. And he's going to start playing his mind games with him now, which is fantastic.
I know this is kind of maybe not relevant, but I remember the Joker offered to coach Nick Kyrgios.
Yeah.
I would just love to see that. I think it would just be amazing.
Yeah, like imagine that. Imagine the team meetings.
Yeah. I don't think there would be team
You
meetings.
go, I'll pick up my Tesla, Joker. And he goes, where's your fucking Tesla? Got stolen. My mum was driving it. It's gone.
Hey,
I cut my foot. I'm going.
we've got a crazy week ahead of us. We're going to be meeting
Yeah.
some pretty damn interesting people. Do you want to share? Are we allowed to share?
Well, yeah, I will. Like, and these interviews are apparently the guys are going to be coming on the boat. But so sports.com is going to become the new, I suppose, platform for sport in the world,
Yeah.
sports ownership and sports content.
Yeah.
And we're lucky enough to be part of it here. They want to own some of the biggest sporting teams in the world, and they want to own events, right? So this is the launch here tonight, the boat we're sitting on now. But over the course of the next week, you know, the great Wayne Gardner, the Wollongong Whiz Kid where I grew up,
Yep.
is going to be coming in. Or Jorge Lorenzo, 3 times GP legend.
Yep.
He's going to be popping his head in. Roberto Carlos, the Brazilian superstar. Roberto Carlos, 125 games for Brazil. He won the 2002 World Cup, 11 years at Real Madrid, 500 games. He won the Champions League 3 times.
Wow.
So he's going to be popping his head in. The big Chris Gale, the West Indian,
Yeah.
who hits more sixes than anyone's ever hit in the world.
Stewie McGill said he's the most beautiful man to have ever played cricket. Is that true?
Look, I'll take Stuart's word on that. Yeah, I never really used to rate him myself personally. Call me old-fashioned. But look, it's going to be a fantastic time. And like, as sports lovers, Afternoon Sport,
Yeah.
we're lucky enough to be here. And I think what potentially is the epicentre of where sport's going in the future. And we're going to be able to bring that to the listeners of Afternoon Sport, what's happening in the world,
Yeah.
what's happening in sports sponsorship and broadcasting. And we're going to be giving you first-hand knowledge as the whole sporting world develops.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be back tomorrow with heaps more. So that's it for Afternoon Sport today. Make sure you hit follow, subscribe, leave a review if you really like the show, or even if you don't like me or Shane, just,
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
something mean. We'll come back at you.
Yeah, more Dan. but yeah.
More me. That's
Yeah.
okay. Well,
And thanks to our sponsors, Elite Bet, the only betting app you'll ever need.
all right. And we'll be back tomorrow with your daily dose of sport.
We'll see you then, guys. Take care.